Yeah, I'm falling. Let's flip that around. Now, one of two things just happened. One is I can't get my video editing software to cut the clip and flip it 180 degrees, and I made a fool of myself by just looking like I was hanging upside down, but I wasn't. Or two, the film editing software that I use does allow me to split the clip and flip myself 180 degrees for this video. And you know what I was thinking when I was preparing for this? It's all about the Inside Out Adidas ZX 6000s, but I was also thinking we need a bit more joy at the channel, a bit more happiness. So I thought, you know what? Not only will I try something a bit funky at the start of this video and see if it works or doesn't, and if it doesn't work, you know, I'm fully happy to still put a video up like that. But the other thing is, shirts on inside out and back to front, because that represents the shoe as well. So just a couple of little things to bring a bit more joy to the channel, a bit more happiness. And what great shoes we've got, 3 of them to look at today, the Inside Out ZX 6000s, and we've been here before in December last year. Now it's May this year, 2021, so December last year in 2020 we already had a look, and hopefully I'll be able to bring them up with kind of a deep brown kind of tan feel to those guys there. And I was really particularly proud of the thumbnail I made for them, because I had the words Inside Out written backwards on that one, which I kind of thought was a neat little trick. And there's also with the Adidas line, like I say, we've been here before, ZX 6000s. Actually, there are some sites that have a little clever take on it. Instead of saying 6000, they do ZX 0006, so even the 6000 is back to front. But those, you know, December 2020 Inside Outs, we already had a look at them and got an idea of what's going on, and now they're bringing out 3 different colorways for this particular line. The aquas, the blues, and the greys is where they're calling them. But not only that, on top of that, above that, we also have shoes like this right here. This was the Easter bunny, or the chocolate bunny, and I got some really interesting feedback from people about that video, because there's a sort of disconnect between Europe and America when it comes to Adidas, especially because Adidas originally was a German brand. The historians out there will know it was founded by Adolf Dassler and his brother, and Adolf's nickname was Adi Dassler, Adidas. Doesn't take too much to get to that. Quick aside that they had a fight, and his brother went off and made Puma or Puma, depending on which part of the world you're from. But anyway, the Adidas line is a German line in history, and so there's a disconnect between, you know, European information and North American information, European drop dates and North American drop dates. And the feedback that I'm getting from people out there is they appreciate me doing shoes like these because they're harder to get the information for in North America, knowing what's coming down the line. And those chocolate bunnies was a good example of that. So there's a lot of reasons to do this video today. Not only are there 3 reasons, because there's 3 different colorways in here, and bringing a bit of joy to the channel, but also a bit of feedback from the viewers saying this is what people are looking for. So without further ado, let's get into this and take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Adidas ZX 6000 Inside Outs in blue, aqua, and grey. Alright, the shirt's back on the right way round, so I can get into this and do things the way we always do it. And I say this at the start of every video, which is this is the Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel is Mainichi Yapsuru no Den, Mainichi Miri Kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And in the spotlight today is 3 shoes coming out on May the 14th. Now, I've seen these, and you know, I've done this an awful lot at the channel recently with videos, is I'm getting drop dates from sole supplier in the UK. And again, this goes to that sort of European versus North American information thing. And they're saying May the 14th. And I think, I don't know if it was sole supplier. I think maybe it was sole supplier I got that May the 14th from. But then I like to get my pictures, the stuff that goes behind me on the green screen, from Sneaker News, which is very much an American sort of centric channel and site with information about North American stuff. And they still say summer 2021 or spring 2021. I can't remember which it is. And I've done that an awful lot at the channel recently. A lot of stuff, I'm getting the drop dates here, and then when I go look over at the North American stuff, they don't have the drop dates yet, and it just says summer or spring or something like that. I'm trying to think. There's something in particular recently that went that way, and I can't remember what it was, but it's the same with these guys today. I've got May the 14th out of a UK website called Sole Supplier, and they're saying that, and the North American sites are still saying summer or spring 2021. Hopefully, fingers crossed, those guys over at Sole Supplier know what they're talking about, and they do. And you can trust that May the 14th drop date. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through these three colorways. Now, I could, and I'm not going to do this, but I could go through them each colorway and take them apart bit by bit by bit, which is kind of boring, to be frank, because I say, like, here's the toe box in blue, and here's the toe box in aqua, and here's the toe box in grey, and it's already boring. But instead of that, what I like to do is take the different bits of the shoe and show you them in different, the different colours. So if I show you the toe box in one, I'll show you the heel in a different colour, the outsole in a different colour, that kind of style. So what I want to do first is I want to look at the deconstructed three parts on the shoe: the heel, the midfoot, and the toe, and then also have a look at some of the detailing on there, especially on the insole and the outsole. So first things first, let's have a look at that heel, because that's one of the major places where you've got that inside out deconstructed feel of the shoe. And there's two really major things that want to go on here. One is a kind of off-white Nike Blazer feel that you get around the tongues on off-white sneakers and Nike Blazer ones, where they haven't finished it with any piping to seal the edge of the tongue on there. And it's exactly the same on the heel cup of these guys here. You can see that it hasn't been finished, and the foam on the inside is kind of sticking out and a bit visible because of that unfinished look, that inside out feel. But it doesn't stop there on the heel. There's more going on with the heels than just that, and it depends on which colorway that you look at to see this. But you can see that the actual cup itself, not the padding or the foam around the edge, but the actual cup itself has also got that inverted inside out feel. So it's a really good place to start to get an idea of how much is flipping out from the inside to the outside on these guys. And then as we come forward from that, we get to the three stripe branding on the side, and there's a very kind of, it's almost like the stitching's been turned out. Usually you'd see three stripe branding, it's pretty simple, and then the stitching would be either right down the sides or it would be sort of discreet enough so that the branding itself stands out. But you can see along the top edge of the three stripes on these shoes that the branding is the stitching is very large, kind of oversized stitching, much more visible than you'd normally get with a shoe. So that inside out feel comes into play on those three stripe brandings on the midfoot. And then we get to the front of the shoe. This is kind of my favorite part, to be honest. There's two major elements to this. One is there's a very sort of interesting wavy line that runs through the panel on the toe box, and hopefully again these kind of things are showing up on the green screen here, and you can see that kind of foam sort of spurning out from the inside, and you get a sense of the unfinished feel to it, especially, like I say, that line running through the middle of the toe box panel there, but also the toe box wrap around the layer, the overlays of the toe box have a deconstructed feel about them as well, especially with that kind of semi-translucent look that they go for on these inside outs. So there's three real major elements to the shoe in terms of that inside out feel: the heel, the midfoot, and the toe box. But then there's more to it than just that, and I want to go with the deconstructed insoles for the first place to start. So hopefully we've got a pretty good picture of one of them up here that tells us that the graphics that are printed on the insoles are supposed to represent a sort of deconstructed outsole on the shoe, and then when you flip them upside down and actually have a look at the outsole, there is a certain degree of kind of chunkiness about it that you maybe not wouldn't see all the time on Adidas sneakers, but it's not that dramatic. But that's good. It's a good thing, because the thing I want to look at is the torsion bar in the middle, and I've talked about this before, that this particular torsion bar goes back to when I first started loving sneakers as a kid. About 15, 16 years old, this is what torsion bars looks like. And I remember when I turned about 17 or so, they changed the torsion bar to be this kind of crossover thing that wasn't, they called it torsion, but it didn't feel like torsion anymore, because this is the OG, the old school torsion bar, and it's great to see it on the ZX 6000s in each of these three shoes. And that classic yellow is the original torsion bar color as well. So that's your outsole and your insole sort of connecting together on there. And then the final thing to do is to look at some of the colouring on there. Hopefully I'll be able to find one of the Dubrays at the bottom of the lacing system. You see that torsion feel on there with the Volt yellow, which adds to the shoe. But then also if we go over to, I think it's the grey ones, there's a lot of pink going on in the grey ones. The other two, the aquas and the blue, have a lot of similarities between them, but when you get to the grey ones, the colourway itself is very different. And then the second colour on that, the pink, is actually quite vibrant in a lot of ways, including on the lining and also around about the branding and the three stripe branding on the side as well. So there's a real pink feel about that shoe. And that pretty much brings us to the end of it. All three of these inside out shoes, May the 14th being the drop date. Hopefully I was able to give you some like history about the shoes, some information about the shoes, and some a look at the different particular places to have a look at these guys and understand what it is that Adidas are trying to do with this upcoming release of 3 colors for the Inside Out ZX 6000s. And with that being said, it's time to just wrap this one up. Hopefully the joy I was hoping to bring to you guys is evident in this video, and hopefully you're sharing in some of that as you're watching this. Fingers crossed that's the way it is and will continue to be. And then I just get to finish up with some joy by saying the same thing that I say at the end of every single video, which is that I do this every single day, 7 days a week, not a single day missed for almost 900 consecutive days. And with that being said, because I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.